Hello world! WayofTime here bringing to you another episode of Blood Magic Developer Commentaries segment of Hemomancy. So I've been doing a bit of work these past 2 weeks and feel like I have enough done, at least on the rendering department, to have another crack at a developer commentary. So some of the main work that I've been doing is on the general theory of what I'm going to be what type of spell tokens I want to have. I want to, of course, have the general combat. You cast Fireball or Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt. Take that, LARPers. Anyways, you cast Lightning Bolt on the entity, bzz, and they die. But that's not really fun. I want to try to add things that will basically make people have a fun time. So here's what I have. Bunch of new tokens, a bunch of new token textures. Obviously, some of them need a bit of work, needless to say. And let's just see what we have new. Some of the stuff is mainly rendering, poking at other people's codes to make it do what I want instead of what they want. You know, original purpose, blah blah blah, yada yada. But let's actually start on some of the fun parts instead. Now that I managed to get through a big let's just say glitches aren't exactly the most fun thing in the world, but we'll get through that. So let's see. A projectile. Let's go and add this thing. And you might have been able to see. So sometimes you want to be able to plant things. You have a huge farm. You have flying capabilities. Maybe from this mod, maybe from another mod, who knows. But the point is, you fly. You have a bunch of seeds in your inventory, and you don't really have the automated capabilities to just plant everything. Well, now you kind of do. Not as automated as some people may like. I'm looking at a certain Wolfie boy over there. But if we just do this, we can then cast it on the middle block and then plant seeds from our inventory. So basically, a very basic planting spell. So that's one of the things. So planting spells are nature-based. Planting, growing, harvesting, you name it, it's some sort of nature-based spell. Let's get a few more books, because I have a feeling we're going to want quite a few of these. Let's just open up and... Yep! Come on! Come into me, books. So let's get another spell going. Obviously, this one will show the harvesting capabilities. So some people know the harvesting that I have in Blood Magic currently. The Harvest Handler, you're able to harvest a block and then it'll pop up and then you can collect it as you see fit. Now, this Harvest Handler is slightly different, I'm going to say. One of the main things that's different about it, harvest, is that you have the option to have it drop the seeds or replant it. So if a mod maker wanted to drop the seeds, they can, and it'll basically allow it. It's basically a Boolean. So you can have one method and one registry, a single registry to handle the cases of I want this planted, and I want this to not be planted. But if you were to combine this with, actually that's a very easy spell that you can do. If you want to combine it so that it'll first token.harvest it, and then plant, you can do that. First we'll have to obviously plant the thing, and then we'll grow. And then when you're flying in the air, right click, it'll harvest it and then replant it. So you don't need to worry about all that stuff. Now the replanting token, I made it so that it'll search your inventory and then stop. Let's start on, I don't like a big giant block right in my inventory. It'll search through your inventory and see if the seed is able to plant it. So for instance, if you have netherwort, it won't be able to plant in this soil block, which should be rather obvious. Not something you want yet. Netherwort kind of gets everywhere. Soul Sand kind of needs to slow down its growth. So that's only one thing that you can do, but there's other things. I already showed you the Plasma Bomb. I think I already showed you the Smelting, but that's pretty obvious. There's the Explosions I told you. Spirit Force. what Spirit Force does is it's an attack type where if you attack a zombie, you'll basically get... It's kind of like Smite for your projectile. I have to do a bit of tweaking because logarithms, when you input 0 into a logarithm, it tends to not go so well. It's even worse than dividing by 0. Anyways, let's just say nan. Okay, projectile, there's that Spirit Force. There's also turning undead, where when you attack a zombie, let's see if we can actually get this with 2 skeletons. 2 skeletons we'll get with a book to turn undead. Spawn them here. Currently, they're fine with each other. Attack one. It'll attempt to attack the other. And succeed in doing it. Which is always helpful. And it has the added bonus where they won't attack you because they're on fire. Now that's another token. Being on fire is definitely another token and another thing that you're going to want to do. I have 2 more books, so I'll show you basically a combinational effect. We obviously have our nice explosion. Explosions are always good, but if you want to give a bit of a Taco Bell, you can add a flammable gas. So, flammable gas, when you cast it, it's kind of like plasma. It'll spawn the block. Textures, like I said, need a bit of work. I'm thinking I'll tweak the spread chance a bit so that it's more slow, because the plasma is supposed to be energetic and damage everything. But anyways, it'll spread, etc., eventually dissipate. Now if you throw this over here, let's first show a regular explosion. Regular explosion, boom. Very big. Augmented explosion. It's a bit bigger. So if you were to cloak the room in a flammable gas, like so, make it spread a bit over here maybe, and then attack. After quite a bit of lag, it will just make everything go boom with one single click. So it's something you might want to be careful about. It also works as a good deterrent for skeletons. Got skeletons in your closet? Well, now you don't. So those are some of the basic spells that I added. I won't go too much into the other ones. Static, it's an electricity spell. There's some fun stuff that I added into it. However, I'm not willing to show that yet. So we now have 4 focuses in total. We have the Self, which currently you're only able to have healing, because I think flammable gas, unless you want it to be like Mexican food, you're not going to get any sort of self spell from that. Who would want to inflict themselves with that? I mean, come on. There's also the touch spell, which currently it's mainly dig. Ooh, earth spikes. I'll show you that one after. There's planting, there's harvesting. Those are added already, so if I were to add that, actually, let's go and check that. Then again, my farm is kind of destroyed right now, so I guess there's no point in showing that. Might as well get a few books while I'm at it. You know what? I'm going to show you that. Might as well. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So planting spell. You have to charge up the touch spell for it to work. So touching spells are charge ups. So you have to charge up the spell and then cast a flammable gas, because that is the best way to grow seeds. So as I was saying, self spells, let's just explode everything. Self spells you have to charge up, and then it releases when it's done, and then it'll cast the spell. So, for instance, as you saw, I was able to plant stuff by charging up and selecting the block. I'm thinking I might have it so that when you charge up the spell, it'll then have some sort of icon of where you're looking at, and when that icon goes out, it will then say you're ready to cast the spell. Something along those lines I think is good. Or the reverse, where you're charging up the spell and as soon as the icon appears, everything will be awesome. So let's set the time today. Self spells are similar in that aspect where you're going to have to charge up the spell for it to work. So if we just basically clear our inventory, might as well, we need a lot of books and quills. Writing for days. If you have a self spell, you'll charge it up, and then it'll automatically release when it's done, consuming all your mana, blood, etc., giving you experience. If it's a successful cast, it needs to be successful, and I need to be able to talk correctly, and then it'll release it. I'm going to do some rendering for that in a bit so that you'll be able to have it basically go all around you to show the successful cast and show the successful cast was successful. Yes! So the last thing I'm going to show is the beam spell, and this I'm very proud of, not to toot my own horn, but it's something that I'm quite excited about. Now, I did dig through a lot of rendering code, made sure that everything was basically made it look like a beam. I want this thing to look good. So I'll make a digging variant of this spell and basically deposit all the other spells so I don't misplace what's what. Let's get what's what? Let's get rid of that. Okay, and let's not write in our books because that's not the right time. And I'll make a regular one that can pass through liquids. Why not? It's not going to be able to do anything, but whatever. So, beam spells are going to be one of the more expensive spell types that you can get. It's probably going to be after projectiles that you can get this, because it is a continuous effect. We have our dig spell right here. So if we hold right click, you can see that we cast a beam in front of us, with some wavy lines showing, yay, we're casting a spell. And if we go into third person, we'll be able to see that it's being cast. However, you can't really see much because of a giant, big, let's just say machines these days are very odd. So you'll be able to cast it. And you might have saw that we actually dug stuff. So when we dig stuff, we hold right click, and then it digs stuff. And I'm thinking there's a bit of a bug. Is it bug with? Yeah, it's bug with my code that the particle texture map needs to be remapped when I'm doing these fancy renderings. That's something I'm going to actually do. So dig quickly, you'll be able to dig, and it takes a while for it to manage to dig each part, but that should be expected. It's super awesome digging spell. Now the thing is also, you may have noticed, this is my non-digging spell, that when you hold right click and you hover over a block, you are able to see a circle to indicate which block you are hovering over. It's mainly to help show basically what's what, which place you are mousing over, and it's also a good indicator of how things are going. So over there, you can see, yes, I got something. Over there, okay, I'm working over here. I'm here. And it basically follows you around. Kind of like an extended cursor, because obviously when you're far away and it's a dirt wall, you're not going to be able to tell if you're interacting with it until you get close enough. The range is 10 blocks. So you're going, nope, nope, nothing, nothing, nada, nope. Up, now I'm getting it. So I can hold right click, and if I step back, now I'm no longer interacting with it. So it's a good indicator of basically everything that you need to know. Let's see, can we snipe that block? Probably not. Let's dig our way through it. And higher potencies of the dig spell. Ooh, got wood. Never knew I'd get that during a DevCom. Anyways, higher dig spells potencies will obviously have higher dig speeds. This is just set to a manageable testing speed. However, I'm thinking that stuff like going through all this dirt is going to be a bit more difficult, seeing as dig spells are really supposed to only be for rock and trees. Then again, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm well, obviously, when you select your spell, your beam spell, you'll be able to choose the different color, and the color is basically dependent on what you're having. Because I have mainly dig spell as my testing apparatus, I'm going to have my dig spell as green for now, because that's how I roll. I'm thinking it should be simple enough to set a custom color, but that'll come later. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I have new in the mod right now. Fancy rendering, going to be a bit more fancy rendering in the future. And I'm thinking that once we get everything flushed out, we're not too far from an alpha release of the mod. Obviously, the alpha release isn't going to have the proficiency system, which will basically gate how you get all of these tokens, because there are a lot of tokens in here. In fact, I wonder if my buttons are working. Buttons probably aren't working right now. I'm going to have to count how many tokens I have here. I know I have 24 tokens, so I'll do that later. So I'll just go with an earth spike. Sheep, you annoy me. Oh, spike! Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Hemomancy Developer Commentary. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes where I basically see how insane I can make these earth spikes spawn from the, well, Earth. And yet another test world destroyed by errant testing. WayofTime here, signing off. I just can't have enough of this. Oh, yeah. Have a wonderful day.